Exclusive.
I mean, I feel like since the beginning of my career, like everything has just really been go, go, go. And I had so much, I was so young when I was on American Idol and was making my first album that it was very much me, I was learning as I would go. And I feel at this point in my life, I feel so much more confident in myself as a songwriter, as an artist, and in putting forth and creating what I want to create. And we had the time this past year for me to be able to spend on going into producing for the first time, which was a huge step and I feel like a very natural progression because I feel like with everything that I do, I become more and more involved and take more and more ownership. So with the Cry Pretty album, I wrote more for this one than I have ever written before and went into producing. So it means a lot to me that, I was there every step of the way. I wasn't trying to communicate to somebody else what I wanted things to sound and feel like. I was in the driver's seat. It was so cool to be co-producing with David Garcia because I feel like we would just go in and we'd have these songs and we would just say, what does the song want? How do we do right by the song? And we tried not to think about rules and, we tried not to put anything in a box. We really just wanted to do what the music wanted us to do. And there was so much freedom, I think, in going in and approaching it that way. And we just had fun. It's like what people listen to so many different kinds of things now and everybody's streaming everything and they're able to really pick and choose what they want to listen to. So we were like, what do we want to listen to? What would we turn on in our cars and like turn up? And we really just kind of had fun and kind of it was freeing to work that way. I mean, I feel like when you're writing songs and when you're like creating an album, you really don't even realize the impact that it could potentially have on people. I feel like if you start thinking about what you want people to take away from it, you're really gonna miss the mark because everybody feels different about different songs and two people could feel completely different about the same song. So you kind of just want to go in and like pour your heart into it and think, what does this mean to me? And it's really when you start hearing the stories after the music is out that you're like, wow. I mean, my own songs that I wrote, people come up to me and say something and I'll be like, I never thought of it that way. But wow, that's so cool that is what you got out of it. And I kind of feel like, that's the mark of good music when somebody can listen to something and pull something out of it that you didn't even necessarily mean to happen. But it's just so cool when people find themselves in your songs. And I feel like that's what we want to do, as music makers and songwriters. Like we want to connect with people and we want them to find their story. We want to write in such a way that it's real and it's human and they can find themselves in your songs.